there we go. Look at, hello. Hey everybody. I'm Tasha, your Simple Solutions Specialist, and you are live from the Smoky Mountain Homestead. So tonight, obviously, I'm doing more things. I haven't been sitting very much, huh? I don't feel like I've been sitting very much. I'm wrapping Christmas presents. So I gotta get this done because the guys are at Scouts right now. So this is my one opportunity while they're both not here to get this done. And then, so I'm sitting at the table with Darian, and Alan comes in. He's like all hunched over, and he's like right through the kitchen, the dining room area. And I'm like, what in the world is he doing? Apparently he had his arms full of presents and he was coming back here to wrap them. So, but I do have a few things I want to talk about, but I want to make sure I'm not, like, can you see me? I guess it doesn't really matter, huh? Here, let me turn it a little. Or I'm going to adjust it a little. There we go. I have to sit on the floor to do this. Oh, I hate sitting on the floor. Hear that bird? That's my clock. Yeah, so I just made a couple little notes today while I was driving around running errands, of course. I was seeing this. I saw, I've been, so like fermented foods are like the thing, right? And I know that they're good for your gut and your, all the good things, but you know what, honestly, I don't like them. I really am not a fan of fermented just about anything. Alan likes sauerkraut, but only if it's homemade, which is fine, I don't mind making it, but like kombucha and all those fermenty goodness things, yeah, not my thing. So, that was just one thing, because I know, like, I've been doing a lot of, like, how-to videos and things that I'm making, but you'll never see me doing that because I don't like them. I think they're yuckies. I did see an idea about, oh, what did they call it? A holiday share and fair. If you look up the, Facebook page, it's probably, I'm sure they've got a website too. My sleeves are making me crazy. It's called A New Dream, and they have all kinds of great ideas on there. And one of them I saw them post today was a thing called a holiday. I think they called it a holiday share and care, but it doesn't have to be for the holidays. You can always share and you can always care any time of the year, right? But the idea is that people go to this central location and then they bring like stuff that it's a swap, but it's not like dollar for dollar kind of swap. It's more of a you know, like if you have stuff just laying around your house, it's just sitting there not doing anything, you might as well take it. And then other people will share like skills or teach people skills or something like that. And I thought, oh, that would be a super cool thing to do here. Let me figure out what I'm going to do here. Oh, here we go. So Darian asked for, you know what he asked for? He asked for what are those things that you hang bananas on? And I'm like, why in the world do you want one of those? And he said so that he can hang up his headphones because I guess they're laying on his desk and it messes him up or something like that. Anyways, like I don't know. But the only thing is his desk is pretty small and he doesn't even have room for that on his desk. So this is what we got him. It's a toilet paper holder. But I thought, you know what? He can hang that on the wall so it's up off of his desk. And that would work. And then he can hang his earbuds and stuff like that off of there too. So he got that instead of a banana carrier thingy holder thing, whatever those are called. I don't even know what those things are called. That's the weirdest thing. I'm like, why not just, everybody needs something to hang their bananas from, that's for sure. Can't live without that. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe after the holidays, maybe like do it in the springtime or something, and I got to find a location for it, but I want to make sure that people are like interested in actually doing it because I don't want to put it together and have, you know, 5 people show up. Although, you know, the site said at the beginning theirs was slow going too. They said sometimes but it's a lot of it is about, you know, creating community, so you really get to know these people, and I just thought it was such a great idea. especially, well, for us especially, because Darian is growing, and he grows out of clothes so fast right now that it's hard to keep up. So I thought that would be super cool. There's the other thing that I want to do at the Repair Cafe, but you know what, I have so many projects that I want to do, and some of them are just probably not going to happen, even though they are a dream. Look at these. We've had this thing of wrapping paper for so long. Like, this is finally the very end of it. But part of it is because we don't really go all out on the holidays either. We're not like buy all the things kind of people. I gotta take this piece down or something. What's going on here? What is happening? What's that happening to hot stuff? What is that? Well, that's gonna have to do. Yeah, so like one thing of wrapping paper will last us for a really, really, really long time. And we reuse everything. So like if it's your birthday and you get a birthday present or Christmas or whatever, you just get the bag that fits the item, not the seasonally appropriate bag. I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of new bags when I've already got one that fits. So it might be Christmas and you're getting a bag that says happy birthday on it. But it's all good. Yeah, so if you guys are interested locally to do something like that, post a comment on here and let me know. And then I'll post it on the on all my other Facebook pages too, just to see what the interest is. I love that idea of, you know, things not going to the landfill. You know, that's one of my favorite things. He's gonna open this up and go, "Why'd you get me a toilet paper holder?" I could tell him because he's full of poop. Oh my gosh, the other night Alan goes, he was saying, I don't know, he was talking about pooping. And he goes, I should say that to somebody. Hey, your eyes look lighter. Did you poop? I'm like, baby, that's not very nice. Cracks me up. All right. Yeah. And then they did another one called a Skillshare, where it was basically people come and they just share their skills and teach people how to do things, and it could be something as easy as like how to make a grapevine wreath, or hey Mo, I can't see very far, sorry. I'm wrapping presents because it's got to get done. I need this. Yeah, so I love the idea of doing the Skillshare, and there's so many things that you can do that are, I mean, some people might find mundane, you know, like you do it all the time. They might go, oh my gosh, I never even thought of that. Like, for instance, I make mustard, because it's super easy to make mustard. And then you can make all kinds of different ones, like honey mustard or beer honey mustard. You just work with the base recipe, and it's super, super easy. I think I'll do that next week. I think we'll make some mustard. Who's this to? This is for Darian. So I was saying earlier that this is actually, we got Darian a toilet paper holder because he wanted something to hang his headphones from, but he needs something that can hang on the wall because his desk space is very, very limited. So we got him a toilet paper holder so he can hang it on the wall, and then he can hang them from there. So that'll work. You know, if it works, try to keep everything as easy as possible. And then he also asked for thick boot socks. He's got these boots that his grandpa gave him. They're actually really, really nice. They're like motorcycle boots, but he wants to get some regular work boots too. The ones he has or he's growing out of. But he asked for socks, so that's what he got. That's his something to wear. And I'm like, all right, I'll get you some socks, man. He makes it awfully easy sometimes. They just come flying out of there. That just came flying out of there. Yeah, so, what did I say? Oh, I've covered up my list. Yeah, so with the new year coming, I know, isn't that the funniest thing? That's pretty genius. with the new year coming up, one of our goals this next year is to kind of challenge ourselves and see how much we can lower our energy bill, because we're not off grid yet. That's our goal, but we every year we get this like thing in the mail. It's like an assessment that shows what an energy efficient home uses, and then it shows your home. Well, our home, since we've been here, has come in below an energy efficient home. And I know part of that is because, we heat with wood. We don't own a dryer. So there are some factors in there. But because it's already really low, now we're like, okay, well now let's see, how low can we actually get it? So, and there's some things that that are just not possible right now. Like, we just don't have the money to get solar panels, which would be great, but we just don't. So, yeah, so I wrote down some, for those that do have a heater, because, like, we don't have a heater, but, well, actually, that's not true. We do have a heater. It's a propane heater, but it's not hooked up to the propane tank, because we just don't need it. So, but when we get the gas stove in, we'll hook up the line again and use the propane. Although what I would really like to get, oh my gosh, I was watching this Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and she was showing us the wood stove they got from Lehman's. That thing is so nice. I'm like, I would actually prefer to have one of those, because if the power goes out, it wouldn't matter one way or the other. I could still just keep plugging right along. Anyway, yeah, so then once we get the gas stove in, we'll rehook that thing up. But when we moved in here, like, why would you have that wood stove in there? And then, I don't know. Sometimes I look at stuff around here and I'm like, I don't know what these previous owners were thinking, or if they were thinking at all. I don't know, it's just bizarre. And then they had those, along the edge of the wall, the baseboard heater things. Those things are so freaking dangerous. Like, so Alan pulled all of those out. He found like $3 in change, and somebody had dropped stuff in there. He found toys. He found like all this bunch of stuff that was like flammable, like dangerous stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, no, I don't think I want that. So he tore them all off, and we still haven't painted the kitchen. So that has to be, so we've got these like spots on the bottom of the wall down there where he tore them off, and it's so ugly. But you know what? You can only do one project at a time, right? And since Darian can't be here when we paint, because it gives him migraines, which means one of us has to take him somewhere, which means Alan is always in here painting by himself. Oh, look, what am I sitting? I'm sitting all weird. Whatever. Yeah, so, but I was saying, for those people that do heat with a regular heater, you can get a programmable thermostat. So it lowers it at night when it should be cool while you're sleeping, and then it warms it up right before you wake up. I'm going to move so I can see what you said. It's our old place it was like a lot of stuff left us, right? You're like, okay. And some of the stuff here was just, I mean, unbelievably tacky. It was just, in fact, in the bathroom, we were replacing there was this huge, like, big giant medicine cabinet, but it was all janky kind of, and it was way too big for the space. Alan pulls it off the wall, and I kid you not, there's a hole like this in the wall behind it. It was like they tore out whatever was there before, didn't bother to patch it, and then just slapped up this other medicine cabinet. I was like, he's like, baby, come and look at this. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, is it, I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's just, well, I can't remember where I heard it, but it's like pride of place or pride of something, where you're proud of what you want your home to look good and be in good repair, so, and not having holes hidden like that. And like, I wouldn't want somebody to come in after I lived here going, what in the world were these people thinking? So weird. From socks. That kid's feet are growing so fast. I'm just like, dude, you're going to have to start buying your own shoes. He did buy his last set of shoes himself, and he didn't pick out cheap shoes either. He's like, no, I like these ones. I'm like, you're going to pay $70 on shoes, but you know what? It's important to take care of your feet. Otherwise, you end up with feet like mine. I used to wear, you know, the little flats that have no support in them whatsoever, and then I wore like 5-inch heels at work all the time, and now I'm like, if it has more than like a boot, like a regular cowboy boot heel, I'm out. I'm not doing that. Ugh. Have you ever seen that girl, Heather Land? Heather Land, I think that's her name. And she does this thing. She goes, I ain't doing it. And it's like a southern. Oh my God, she's so funny. She does these really short videos. You got to look her up. She's a crack up. And I got these for my mother-in-law. These are super cute. I wish they didn't come in a plastic bag, but these are wool dryer balls, so that way she can not have to use dryer sheets. I thought those were pretty cool. I wish they would. I mean, it's supposed to be eco-friendly, and they send it in this stupid plastic bag. I'm like, what are you thinking? People are so weird. And then we got her this super cute. They love to go camping. They have this camper. Well, they retired a year ago, almost 2 years, year and a half ago, and they took a 3-month trip up. They went from Charlotte all the way up through the States, through Canada, all the way up through Alaska, and then they came back down. They were gone for 3 months, but I found this cute, locally handmade ornament. It's a picture of a camper, and it says, I love camping. So, yeah, but they got this really nice camper that they love to take all over. And now that they're retired, you know, and they got that camper, they're never home. But anyways, that's what I got her. Wool dryer balls and that cute little thing. I love the, do you use them? I mean, we don't have a dryer, so that I don't really need them, but do you use the wool dryer balls? Because if you do, I'd like to know which ones you use. Ooh, you know what I should do is have you do a guest blog on my blog about your balls. How's that? Just like a product review. That'd be cool. Since I don't have a dryer, I'm not much of a good source for that kind of information. I'm trying to finish off a box of dryer sheets we have before I get more balls. Well, everybody needs more balls. Yeah, so let me know what you think. And I'll have to ask her what she thinks of these too. I just thought, I was just like, you know what a great, anything that can save me money. I love presents that like save me money, save me time, save the planet. And I mean, if you can save all the savings, all of the things all at once, I'm like, oh man, I cut that too small, did I? Oh man. Is it too small? Oh, no, I can do it this way. Yeah, so I would love to know, and what brand you picked and everything. So, did you buy yours online, or did you, we have a local store here that had them. They were really expensive, so, and I know they were locally made and everything, and I really try to support the local businesses when I can, but sometimes at that price, you know, you just have to pick and choose what you're going to do, you know. I'm going to see what you said. And blogging with you would be awesome. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, so Alan's getting our, he's buying some flashing at work in a few days. Well, after we get back from the holiday. And we're going to be butchering our first chickens. So, because we've got too many roosters to how many hens we've got. So, somebody's got to go. If you're able to do videos like this, then we should be able to video chat. I'll talk to you. Yeah! Yeah, I video chat with Mariah, my daughter, too. We do that a lot. In fact, she sent me those jars that I showed you last week. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love them. But she told me that when they came to call her to video chat with her because she wanted to watch me open the box. Cute. She's gonna like that. Yeah, so, yeah, we could video chat. Yeah, and maybe when we go to butcher our chickens, I can have you on video chat, and you can go, wait, don't do it that way. You're going to make them miserable. Or something. Let me see, this is 2. These stickers are so cute. I've had these for so long. Once we run out of all this wrapping paper and stuff, I'm just going to, at the thrift store, I find fabric, like Christmas fabric, all the time. So I'm like, I'm just going to cut out big pieces of fabric and just use that. And then that way we can just keep reusing it over and over and over again. From the Free Childers. Cute. Yeah, we've had these stickers forever. So that's why I don't like move over yet to something more sustainable, just because I don't want to get rid of this stuff. You know, there's no reason to get rid of it. You might as well use it up. I mean, because somebody would be using it, right? Might as well. Let me see what you said. Ouch. What'd you say? Fun stuff. Butchering is hard work. If you can, have Alan make a whiz-bang plucker. I saw that. I saw a video of that. Or do a handheld one for a drill. Yeah, I've seen those. So, hand plucking takes most of my time and energy when I butcher. I bet. I can only imagine. I would love to have. Yeah, I've seen some of those, like fancy, like excuse me, like they're big, but I think those are made for doing several chickens at a time. Where right now we're only doing 3 this time, but I think that's good. You know, we can do one and figure it out, and then. Oh, I got a quiz to do later too, but then I'll be done with that stuff for. So this, I forgot I had even ordered this for Darian. He had mentioned, so he plays Skyrim, that video game, and he wanted the Skyrim map, world map, I guess, whatever. Anyways, I found one online. I bought one for him. He doesn't know he's getting that because he didn't actually ask for it. He just was like, oh, that'd be so fun to have like a whole map. And I'm like, oh, I can make that happen. I just wish some of this stuff wouldn't come in so much freaking packaging, you know? But I mean, I realize it's got to come in something. I mean, they can't just like have a stork bring it to you. But still, it's disappointing, especially like with those dryer balls. It's like this is supposed to be an eco-friendly product, and then you send it to me wrapped in plastic. It's so irritating. Ooh, that's so satisfying. Don't you love that? When you're cutting the paper and it just goes shoo. Hey, Linda, how are you? All right. So, yeah, so probably next week, if Alan gets time to build that, build the killing cones in the thing, then we'll be butchering those chickens soon. I mean, dude, you can't even give freaking roosters away. It's very, like, no. And part of it, well, Linda, remember you came over, Linda was going to take one of our roosters, and she was like, whoa, they're really big. But Linda, don't you have bantams, don't you? So, yeah, they would have been too big for her purposes, but, so, you know what, we're getting there, and then we have a friend who's moving to Tennessee, and he's got like 100 chickens, and it's so tempting to go, I'll take them, but honestly, we just don't have anywhere to put that many chickens. It'd be great, but definitely call me when yes, definitely we will, because I know you did a lot of that, so I will definitely be needing some pointers on how to do that. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, so we were talking about saving energy. So a programmable thermostat, if you heat with a heater, which we don't, but we did when we were in San Diego, and that was, and man, the cost of energy in San Diego, Mo, you remember, so expensive. So yeah, anything that can save you a few bucks is always a good thing, especially there. Oh my gosh, it was so expensive. So yeah, our power bill here is like, I think Alan said it's less than a quarter of the cost of what we were spending in San Diego, something like that. It's ridiculously inexpensive. Again, our water bill is only $97 a year. And the guy, because we're on a shared well with, I think, 4 or 5 other houses here. And so the guy that has, his family's been taking care of the well since these houses were built. So he's in his family's house. And he brings it over, so it's our water bill, and it's on an index card, and he has it handwritten on there, and he says, for the year 2017, $97. And we're like, okay, sounds good to me. I think we can make that happen. So, oh, you know what we're going to start doing too is putting everything on power strips, so that we can just turn the power strip off and everything is off when we're not using it, because even though it's turned off and it's plugged in, it's still drawing electricity because it puts it on standby. Sorry, I want to see what she said. My neighbor in Woodfin has 4 and they put them on Craigslist. They gave them away in less than 30 minutes. You know what? I'm afraid somebody's going to use them though for cockfighting. So, really, and it's like, okay, so do I want to butcher them and eat them? Or do I want to take a chance and have somebody use them for cockfighting? I know, it's a hard decision, you know? But, this is for Darian. Yeah, so, I don't know, it's hard. You know, and I know I'm going to bawl. I'm sure I will, because even just thinking about it makes me want to bawl. But I guess if you're going to live on a homestead, you got to get used to it. I don't know if I could ever get used to it. He chewed it on. I don't think I could ever get used to butchering animals. And I think we shouldn't. I think we should become skilled at it, but it shouldn't be just like, I just butchered them, whatever. Oh, Bubba. Oh, no. She's so cute. Oh, okay, what do we got here? So Darian has recently gotten into Dungeons and Dragons. So we got him the Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master Guide and Player's Handbook. Alan used to play too. Man, I got 2 nerdy badurdies in my house. Let's see. You put that time and money into them, eat them. Roosters are good for stews. Yeah, that's what I've heard. They make excellent stew. So that's good for a chicken pot pie. I was a concern, but the guy had 100 chickens. Oh my gosh. 100 chickens. I can't imagine having space. I can't imagine. I would love to have space for 100 chickens. That would be awesome. What did I just do? Oh, I need a different one. Oh, I like this one. This is cute. I like all the natural looking ones with the brown paper. Oh, that is too... What is going on here? What? Okay, that's bizarre. That's too small. Yeah, so, what were we talking about? Power strips, yeah. So we're going to make it so that when we're not using something, we can just turn all the power strips off, and then we'll be able to save some money that way. And save from using so much power. I don't like using electricity if I don't have to. Which is, you know, Alan thinks I'm crazy because I do so many things by hand. But I don't actually mind it. Like, I love using my mortar and pestle. I love it. And I like, you know, the feeling of not... It's kind of like sticking it to the man, you know? Like, yeah, I don't need your stinking electricity. Although I appreciate the stinking electricity. I do. And I like having it. But I also want to be able to know that if it's not there, that we're not going to be, you know, those people where we're like, oh my God, I can't, you know, do whatever. I can't be on the computer because my electricity went out, you know. Yeah, so power strips. And here's one that I'm kind of torn about. I mean, it's a good idea. Absolutely change your air filter. Hey, Dargan, how are you? Chula, get out of the way, nerdy. You know, like replacing your air filters is good, especially for your air quality. As somebody who comes from an industry where that's one of the things that we did was we cleaned like air ducts, you know. And so I had to go to a very long series of classes on why we do that, blah, 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 blah. And what I learned, boy, some of the stuff I learned taking those classes, I mean, it's a good thing to know that information, but also on the other hand, it's kind of crazy making. You know, the more you know, the more you know. And now you're like, well, crap. You know, it's just, it's almost like, sometimes you're like, I wish I didn't know that, because now that I know, I have to do something about it. So, yeah, so replacing your air filters is great for saving energy, especially if you have, like, air duct, if you don't, like for us, since we heat with a wood stove, it's really not that big of an issue. But if you have an air conditioner or a heater, absolutely. But the problem becomes recycling them, because they have, a lot of air filters have, in fact, probably the majority of them, I would think, have fiberglass in them, and that can't be recycled. So it's kind of a trade-off. The best thing to do for your air quality, honestly, is just freaking open your windows. That's it. Open the windows. Super easy. And so, well, somebody was asking me, they said, ew, what's that? Dog hair. The guys bought Scotch tape. I normally use just masking tape or a ribbon, but they bought it, so. I don't know, why do they think we can't live without Scotch tape? Whatever. Okay, so, somebody was saying, I want my house to smell good, because it always smells musty, but what do you guys use? Do you use essential oils? Do you use whatever? And I do use essential oils, and I love my oils. But my answer was, I just open the window. Opening the window is the best, easiest, and cheapest way to do it. Granted, I mean, sometimes you don't want to open the window when it's 12 degrees outside, but you can just like open the window really quick and then pop it back down just to get a blast of fresh air in there. In fact, my grandma, back when she and my grandpa lived on their farm, they had these 2 back rooms that they would actually close off during the winter, and then put a blanket over the doorway to keep all the cold air back there. And they basically just lived in the bedroom up front, and the living room, and then the kitchen area. And my grandma said that it would be probably like January, and all of a sudden, all 3 of them, it was my mom and then my grandparents, and she said that they would get, hey Nikki, that they would start getting like cabin fever, and so everybody got to pick one thing that they would get to do that was like seasonally inappropriate. And my grandma's thing was always opening that window and letting that freezing cold, because they were in Michigan. They were like in the middle of Michigan, and she said she had to get that fresh air in there, and she would just pop open that window and stand there for like a minute until she was freezing her butt off, and then close it. But she said really that would make all that stale air go away. I mean, how cheap is that? Open the window, But yeah, if you do have like a central heating system or something like that, you really do need to change out your filters. They say to do it every 6 months, but some filters you can actually take them out, and if you get they're not cheap, but there are ones that you can wash a few times and then put those back in and reuse them. But then again, eventually you're going to have to dispose of them, and then you got to think about, okay, so how am I going to get rid of this without sending it to a landfill? Which is, I can't think of any other way. You probably could take it, because of the fiberglass, maybe to one of the hazard waste facilities and ask them, because they may have a better way of getting rid of it than just throwing it into the landfill. Anything's better than just throwing it into the landfill. So, can't believe Darian's into Dungeons and Dragons, you guys. What a nerd. So, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, this is a big one, especially for us because this house is so funky badunky. is to boost up your attic insulation. This house basically, when we moved in, had, for the most part, no insulation. So, I mean, Alan's had to fiddle with the wood stove to get it to work so that the heat goes actually everywhere in the house. It's just, there's been a lot of work, but because heat rises, it goes right out through your, hey Sonia, goes right out through your attic. So putting insulation in your attic, and even in like where Sonia lives, Sonia's in San Diego, and it gets hot there, like hot. But if you have insulation in the attic, it can also help keep that cool air in. In case you need my number. Oh, okay, that's Mo. She's dinging in. Yeah, so it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind is where you live, how there would be really no reason for us to do doing the filter thing is not even an issue for us because we don't have air ducts because we heat with wood. But anybody that has air conditioning, like somebody who lives in San Diego, even a lot of people who live in San Diego don't have air conditioning. They have heaters, but no air conditioning. Especially if you live by the ocean. Most of the people by the ocean don't have air conditioners because you just basically don't need it. But yeah, let me see. What was the other one? I have to find my read spot on my glasses. Here's an interesting one. It was upgrade your appliances. So we all know, of course, that there are energy efficient appliances. But then comes, so if the goal is, if the only goal is to save electricity and do that, then you can replace your appliances. But then you still have to take into account how you're going to dispose of your original appliance, for one thing, especially if it's like super old and dead and almost impossible to even donate to anything, especially like refrigerators because of the Freon. There's that. But my thing is, wouldn't it be more interesting to, I mean, you can do the energy efficient appliances, which is brilliant, it's so good, but like my thing is I want to learn how to do it without appliances. So, Chula, what are you doing? Just staring at something. So, like for instance, like the dryer. When the dryer died, we just didn't replace it because we didn't need it. I mean, I know how to dry my clothes without a dryer. I always think, you know, like what did my grandma do before? Because when she lived out on her, well, she was pretty young when she got her, was it my grandma, when she got her first washing machine. She didn't have a dryer, but she had a washing machine, and it was it's just the one tub thing with the wringer on the top and everything. But man, she was excited, she said. She said it was great. Hey, you guys, look what I made. Beef jerky. I've got another batch going right now, too. I got 4 of the guys in the family have requested beef jerky, so I'm making a lot of beef jerky. And you know what? I did the math, even including figuring out the wattage of my dehydrator and how long it takes to dehydrate it, blah, 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 blah. And doing it this way is still less expensive. So this is cut at a 1/4 inch thick, and so it takes, it's a little more, it's between like a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch, so it's probably like a 1/3. But, so it's more like steak jerky. It's like thick, really thick jerky. It's like, so to buy this kind in the store would be really expensive, and we figured out that it's definitely less expensive to make it yourself, and you don't have to worry about all the nasty high sodium stuff because you can control all of that yourself. Anyway, yeah, so my thing is I would rather do without the appliances. Mostly because, like I said, I don't want to be dependent on what we've been convinced is a convenience. Like, how convenient is it to depend on something? It's really not. So if I know, and it's not like I want to do everything by hand all the time. I just want to know that I know how to do it. it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just this, I guess, state of mind where I'm like, I don't want to depend on you, bloody, bloody, bloody. So, yeah, that's kind of, like, we got rid of our toaster. So you probably remember that when we got rid of our toaster. I was like, I have a toaster oven and I have a toaster. So why do I have both? So, yeah, and we just made toast in the toaster oven, and then I did the math and figured out that the toaster oven is actually less energy efficient than just my oven. And so we do still have the toaster oven. It's just up in the attic in case, you know, we have a bunch of people over or something and we need to reheat something. But it's not energy efficient because it doesn't seal around the edges the way an oven does. It doesn't have that really solid seal. So you're losing a ton of energy that way. It's just ridiculous. You know, we've convinced ourselves that we've got to have a toaster. We have to have, oh, I don't know, like, we used to have one of those, I mean, this is a manual thing, but it was a chopper, you know, where you chop onions and stuff. And one day I was like, oh, I can't chop my whatever it was because the thing was dirty. And I went, hang on, I have a knife. What did they use before this thing? You know, they used a knife. So we just got rid of it. I was like, I don't need another thing. And then that just freed up more space. Where, I mean, you don't have to store as much stuff. When you're not storing as much stuff, it's easier to focus on the things in your life that really do matter. You know, like spending time with my family, or, you know, learning a new skill or something like that. That's way more, for me, productive than having one of these slappy choppy thingies, whatever. Let me see what she said. Still have the toaster oven. I use it more than the microwave. You know, we actually do have a microwave now because we got rid of our one in San Diego. The only thing we use it for, though, is to heat up the frickin' dog food. And I'm like, that's stupid. So, oh, check this out. And then last night, I was heating up the dog's food. And I opened because, you know, you open the microwave door and it turns off. So you can check it, whatever. Well, the thing stayed on with the door open. I was like, okay, that's freaking me out right now. So I'm not using that thing anymore. We're all done with that, and Alan's going to pull it out because he said that once they start malfunctioning like that, he goes, that's not safe at all. And we were going to be tearing it out anyways, and just replacing it with a regular vent hood. And it's dumb anyways because it sits so far down that I can't hardly use the two back burners. I mean, see, this house is bizarre. I don't know why these people did half the things they did. But, so that will be coming out. That freaked me right out. I'm not a big fan of microwaves to begin with. And we lived, I know, crazy, huh? We lived without one for years when we were in San Diego. We just decided to get rid of it because the only thing we were using it for was to heat up Alan's coffee. Like, why would you have a whole appliance to just heat up a cup of coffee? That's ridiculous. You know what? Use a coffee maker. You know, or I would just put it in a little pan and heat it up on the stove. Whatever. And now he only drinks, we have a French press. And I make him coffee in the morning, and that's all he drinks. He drinks that one pot of coffee and he's done for the day. So it's not like he has to have a pot of coffee, you know, sitting around all day. He would never drink that much coffee. So, I'm thinking I'm getting to the end of this stuff. Yeah, so appliances. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of appliances to begin with. I would rather learn how to do stuff on my own. This next summer we're going to be, learning how to cook over the fire pit, because we got that big grill thing from my in-laws last year for Christmas, and we hadn't used it because Alan had to redo the fire pit, big thing. Anyway, so we are going to be doing a lot of over-the-fire cooking and Dutch oven cooking, and we'll be using our Sun oven a lot. You know, and part of that is it'll just keep the house cooler, not having to turn on the oven. You know, I mean, and who doesn't like to play with a little bit of fire, you know? That's always fun. So, yeah, that's our big to-do. Trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Half the time I don't even know. Yeah, so, you know, I remember those days when I could, you know, get up and down off the ground without making noises. Good times, man, good times. Hey, Chula, you want a haircut? You want a mole cut? So, yeah, I think that was, oh, and then of course the other one is switch to LED lights. You know, those suckers aren't cheap. They are not cheap. But I will tell you that they are totally worth it. And they don't get super hot like the other, I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. But my in-laws had some that, and they had some like recessed lighting in their kitchen. And those things would get so hot. I was like, man, that would really suck to like accidentally touch one of those. That could really burn you. That's so dangerous. The LED lights don't get that hot. They use way less wattage, and they will last you. We probably won't have to replace our light bulbs for another 10 years at least. I mean, well, part of it is because we just don't. Like during Chula, you're in the way, dumb dog. Like sometimes at night we like to just use our oil lamps if we're gonna watch TV or something. Just like it, you know. It's the ambiance. Have a little mood lighting kind of thing. But it's just nice to, you know, have some natural light rather than these glary lights. Yeah, I don't. You know, it's just. And Darian likes it. He says it makes him feel like he's camping. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. So, and I know there's a bunch of other things that we can do to save energy. And that's just, that's like one of our goals for this next year is to just see how, you know, how much lower we can get our energy bill, because it is already pretty low compared to the people that are around us. So I'm hoping by the time we get the report, I saved the one from the last one we got, so I'll be able to compare it and see what the difference is. So I'm going to turn this over because I like the other side better. Chula. Ugh, dog. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. That's a song, isn't it? Does anybody really know what time it is? Oh, 7:47. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so late. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know I'm probably just prattling on. I was just chitty-chatting. Yeah, so I think that's it for tonight. I'll skip the little preppy tip just because we'll do it next week. I know I ran way over. I'm so sorry. I know you guys have things to do. So, yeah, so don't forget, let's see, what else? You can find me all over the place. My YouTube channel is Smoky Mountain Homestead. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest as Simple Solutions Specialist. LinkedIn is my name, I believe. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. I've got to figure out a way to combine everything so there's only one name. And what else? Yeah, so go ahead and throw me some love. Feel free to share this page or this video. And if you haven't already liked my Smoky Mountain Homestead page, go over there and like that. We got 2 more. I need 2 more likes, and then I will be giving away a jar of my homemade roasted garlic olive oil. And we'll be doing a random drawing for that. So, ta-da! That's it. All right, that's it. So, I'm glad you guys came. It was fun to see everybody. Let me see what that says. Gotta pull my pants up. Give it a few years. It even hurts if you get out. Right? That's the worst. Sitting up in the morning, you're like, or trying to get up and you feel like a freaking turtle on its back. Yeah, so, all right, that is it for tonight. Let me know if you have any questions, anything specific you want me to do next week. I think we're going to be making a bunch of different kinds of mustards. So that'll be fun. Assuming I don't have other stuff I got to do. But that is it, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out, and be the change.